guys, it's Ben with the Retro Funhouse and
Yankee from Retro Funhouse too.
That's right. As you're seeing this video, we scored an amazing lot, some deals. We went and picked up some fun items. But before we do that, we'll make sure you like, share, subscribe, and check us out on YouTube, of course, and Instagram. But let's get to the video. Join the Funhouse Retro Funhouse.
But yeah, starting off the entire lot, I myself am a big WWE collector. I love collecting WWE figures. I've been a big fan of collecting figures since I think the Jakks Pacific era from the 2000s when I wasn't really born yet, but my father was. And he would buy a ton of them, and I would continue this for majority of my life because I love wrestlers. But the figure I got was from a 2020 deal for $15. It's a Shawn Michaels WrestleMania 6 where he fought Tatanka for the Intercontinental belt, and I don't personally have a elite Shawn Michaels, so this was a pickup for me because I got it for $15 because he was selling it for a whole set, which for $60, but I asked if he would do one. But yeah, this is one figure I've been wanting to get for a while, so I mean...
And it was in the box, so he just took it out, of course, but... So that's pretty cool, the Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels action figure. And then we went, right after we picked that up, we made an offer on a lot for some Atari stuff. Didn't realize in the moment when we made the offer what exactly was in there. I thought I was just picking up some games. And then afterwards, when I double-checked the sale on Marketplace, I was like, wait a minute, there's more to this. So what we're going to show you really quick is just some of what we got. And after this, we're going to show you clips of everything else that we picked up in this lot. It was a big lot, and the guy was just like, here, take it. It's been in the attic. We're moving. Hey, and we'll take it. We got a great deal. So we picked up two
Atari
2600 Juniors, which we already have one. And these have both been tested. A little dusty, but we're going to wipe them down. But two Atari 2600 Juniors. They both work in great condition. Really good shape. We got the remotes and stuff for them. I think one of them was just missing like the wires or whatever, but still, they both work. And that was really cool. And we also picked up some really cool
remotes. One of them is I guess this is for the Atari.
They both work on the Atari. Don't know much about these two remotes, but we tried them on the Atari and they worked on the Atari. So let me know in the comments if this one or this other one are actually Atari. We know they're Coleco or whatever, but
this one is called the Command Control, which has one button on top, and then obviously, as the Atari, has one button right on the side.
Which, when we did try this, my wife actually said, and we both tried it, this one compared to the actual joystick for the Atari, that one works way better. So in the comments, if this is actually an upgrade from the traditional Atari one, which I think it is, let me know, because this one works so much smoother than the traditional Atari one. And then we also picked up in the lot this really cool ColecoVision Super Action Controller. I've never seen this. This is really just wacky for when it came out, I'm guessing. Because you got all the push buttons here. You got the joystick up here. You've got the push buttons, I'm thinking, for like codes or something. Numeric games, I'm not really sure. And then you got the spinner here, kind of like the controllers for like driving and paddle for Atari. So I've never seen this either. But we did try it, hooked it up to the Atari, and it worked. It worked pretty. It was interesting. I mean, I think the other one works a little bit better, but this one was really interesting. I like the push button, so that was really a weird buy, but super cool, almost like a phaser. So this lot of games right here, this is not even all of them. This is just the ones that we picked that we wanted to show, right?
Yes.
So at the end of the video, we'll show you pics of the other games that came with it, but we just wanted to highlight these in the lot. So if you're ready, here we go. I'm going to go first with the first one we picked up, Defender, which is a fun game. Very common for Atari, but this is a fun game for sure.
One of them we also picked was Tron Deadly Disc. This is, I actually found out, is for the ColecoVision and the Intellivision, which was made by the people that made it.
Yeah, which we have in a television console.
But yes, this would use the numeric code like this, and it would basically use the little numbers on there as like little directions to throw the disc. That's why it's called Deadly Disc.
And we also, I've never seen this one, but the Space Shuttle, A Journey into Space, which of course everybody knows if you grew up in the 80s, the shuttlecrafts were really popular back in the 80s, and this is one I've never played, so this is one I'm actually looking forward to hooking up and playing. Space Shuttle.
Also, too, one that I was kind of surprised when we first saw it was Journey's Escape. I thought first because the cover art looks like the album
I
that
thought it
Journey
was
made
thought it
too.
was a Journey game.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking because it says Journey on there too. So I was thinking in my head maybe it's a Journey game that's based off of the band. But playing it, I found out is a space game. And
But-
Atari back then.
If you look at the artwork, it looks like an album cover for Journey, like a Journey album cover. Pretty cool. Now there's another one that was 20th Century Fox, Crypts of Chaos.
Yeah.
I've never heard of this game before, but it has interesting artwork. It's, I don't know, I haven't actually put it on there to play yet, but it is one I'm going to kind of check into. So there you go.
Also, too, some that you'll obviously see in the arcades or if you download some is Space Invaders. Arguably, if not one of the greatest space games of all time, besides obviously like Star Wars and all that. But Space Invaders is obviously a classic for the Atari.
Yeah. Also, Joust. Who doesn't like Joust? The arcade version is really fun. I've never played the Atari version of it, but it's Joust, a lot of fun. I like that you fight on those giant ostrich flying birds. So Joust.
One that I've never heard is it's made by U.S. Games, Commando Raid. It, as the cover art shows, it looks like it looks like a little base that you're having to defend. So kind of something like I think,
Kind of like Missile Command, maybe? I don't know. I
yeah.
did play it before the video. It was actually pretty fun.
If you know anything about this, let us know in the
I
comments.
think the little guys parachute down and you're trying to shoot them before they land. It was weird, but also another one, a classic Atari game, Yar's Revenge. You don't have to say much about this. If you played Atari, you know Yar's Revenge, but it's still a fun game.
And we're gonna get down to the big one. If you ever remember
One of the biggest disappointments in gaming history.
Yep, if you obviously remember the video game crash of I think the 80s, going before the NES and stuff like that, E.T. the Extraterrestrial, which was supposed to be, if not one of the most interesting games to be made during the time of the early 80s,
They had a
because
lot of hype coming
yeah,
up.
because
And it was
it's
a
based
Christmas
on
release.
and it was based on obviously the movie E.T. the Extraterrestrial. But then you found out the entire point of the game, which was
It was really weird.
it was no point of the movie, but then Atari failed, and that's when we got the NES and the
But
Sega.
at least the ET figure in the game, I guess you could say it looks like ET. So another one, any Indiana Jones fans, Raiders of the Lost Ark. This is one we already have, but this is a pretty clean cartridge. So I do like Indiana Jones. I do like the Indiana Jones arcade game. I haven't seen it at the retro arcades, but still, Raiders of the Lost Ark is one we have, but this is a cleaner version of one that we got.
If you're a big fan of this game right here, we do actually own a arcade in the game room, Dig Dug. It is arguably one of my favorite games right now.
Look at that
I've
artwork.
never played it. It looks amazing for the
It's like a
artwork.
that's a fun, traditional, early 80s arcade right there.
I don't
And
know.
we did play that earlier.
I don't know much, but it is a fun game. I have seen it in the arcades before though.
Dig Dug. Dig Dug.
Dug.
Another one, Pole Position, classic arcade game. This is at one of the local arcades in our area that they have the actual cabinet where you can sit down. Pole Position is fun. We did play this earlier, and my wife had a laugh with this because she enjoyed this game very much, and she remembers this game playing it back in the day. So Pole Position was another fun one.
And if you're a big fan of obviously the Super Mario Bros, then you obviously know one of the biggest villains. And it's not Bowser, Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong's kind of not really a villain.
Kong, was that Junior?
Donkey Kong Jr.
It's the little guy.
Yeah, most people think that Donkey Kong obviously had kids, which he did because there's a N64 port of Donkey Kong Country and then also Donkey Kong Jr.
I wonder
But
if Donkey Kong Jr. was Diddy Kong, maybe in a way.
maybe he
Who
was.
knows? Another classic one. If you know Atari, again, here's another one. Pitfall. The arcade and the Atari version are so close, and this is such an easy, fun game to play. You can actually play this for a long time, even though it's just the same old thing. But it's Pitfall. It's a great game. It's a lot of fun, and they did do a remake of it. But Pitfall.
They
fun
also
game to play.
made an NES version called Super Pitfall. But on the topic of Donkey Kong, there is obviously the original Donkey Kong game that actually started with Mario 2 before the Super Mario Brothers game.
Jumpman.
But yeah, this was Jumpman before Mario was even made though.
Yeah. So the last one I have in my stack, he's got two other ones. This is really cool to see. This is the Ghostbusters.
Activision.
We have a Ghostbusters one, but this one is, it is Activision, but I'm not exactly sure it's Atari, of course, and it does play, but I've just never seen this cover because I have the other Atari one, which is Ghostbusters, has a different cover. So this is really cool, probably one we'll keep for sure, but it's interesting. It has their logo. The other Ghostbusters one has the movie logo, of the one of the famous posters where they're all aiming up. So we got two different ones of this, but still, Ghostbusters, can't go wrong with that.
And also to finalize our entire thing, if you didn't know, back before we had Atari, back before he had an Atari, there was obviously the computer games that featured a lot of famous TV shows and movies, like Predator, Nightmare Before Elm Street, Friday the 13th, and obviously He-Man. But for the Atari, they actually got a good amount of good movie adaptations. Starting off with arguably one of the greatest movie adaptations to give some of the greatest sequels in our history, the Star Wars franchise. You have Star Wars, The Empire Strikes Back, and then Star Wars, Return of the Jedi. Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back will probably maybe show a video clip of what this is if you have never seen it. It's basically just
It's a ship.
It's just it's going off of the actual movie where you take down like the little, or you take down
The AT-ATs.
Yeah, the AT-ATs.
It's actually a fun game if you've never played it.
I haven't played it yet. And then there's Star Wars, Return of the Jedi.
And this one is a different.
Death Star battle.
Yeah.
This one is, if I'm correct, it's just only taking place during the end of the film where they're trying to take down the Death Star.
There wasn't like levels. It was just
During the Atari, there wasn't really a lot of level story games during that point. But if you're a big fan of Atari and you love Star Wars, and you were lucky.
Yeah, and I know for sure the Star Wars Empire Strikes Back one is actually really fun. I really enjoy it. But that's what we got. Like we said, there was more that we picked up in this lot, and we'll show you at the end of the clip, and which we're actually going to do that right now. We just wanted to make sure we showed off this lot. 2 Atari 2600 Juniors. We got 2 cool remotes, and we got some other remotes. Some of the basic remotes, like 4 or 5 of those. Some of the pads. Two of the
little
driving.
driving ones and paddle. I originally thought they
and
were.
the stacks of other games, which you will see at the end of this, as we get done and we shut up. You'll see all the clips of the other games that we didn't highlight. We just want to make sure you knew this was a great score for us. It's Atari, and man, we're excited.
Also, too, just to keep in count, this right here is not all of it, because in total, I did the count. We got over 64 games of Atari. There's a bunch of more that are in there that we will show in a little bit. But yeah, this is everything right now that we wanted to highlight as something that either we enjoyed or we thought was very interesting for us.
Yeah.
So I mean,
that's kind of it. So enough talking. We just want to do a quick video. We don't want to go too long. So enjoy the clips of the other games that we got. And stay tuned. We're going to be visiting Retropalooza real soon.
Coming soon.
It's coming real soon. So make sure, and of course, make sure you're listening or watching the Retro Funhouse podcast. Yeah.
It's also, too, we did find out that y'all did enjoy the podcast with my older brother and our cousin. Maybe we might do another one. Coming soon, obviously, I would like to talk about some certain topics with WWE, also referring to AEW. Because if you didn't know, more recently we got done with Bash in Berlin, which I did a review on, which I did talk about that in the podcast. But I also really wanted to talk about AEW's All Out, because there's a lot of controversy surrounding that with how they are right now. But also, too, stay tuned for that. Maybe we'll do a podcast coming soon, maybe later in the week.
So stay tuned for other stuff coming up. But until then, enjoy the quick clip of all the other games we picked up. Just some of the 64 games. Thanks for watching. Join the Funhouse. We'll see you next time. Make sure you like, share,
subscribe.
We'll see you next time.